think it is really important to still analyze risk, understand what challenges exist in deals. I know there are a lot of folks who have gotten famous talking about not just Wall Street money, but everyday businesses and Main Street capital and stuff like that. And here's what I will tell you. All of that sounds great in theory. You got to work. The thing about passive income is it is passive, or at least more passive than active. But if you've got a business, any kind of business, you've got systems and processes you got to manage. Systems and processes are only as good as the people who are being asked to follow them. And if you can't find, recruit, and retain great quality talent, nothing's going to matter. And this is the same for property managers or contractors or other folks on your team in real estate. It can all work, but if you can't identify, retain the right talent, none of it's going to matter. If you got a bad PM, you got a bad PM. And just firing them and hiring someone new, that is not a strategy, that is hope. So you got to look inside and figure out what can you control, what can you change. I know a lot of folks who have basically had to become property managers themselves unwillingly, but just that's what they've had to do based on their deals, right? So more begrudgingly than unwillingly, but it's not something they wanted to do. And here they are managing properties because they couldn't identify the right folks to do it. And you got to put yourself on the other side of it, right? If you're buying, let's just call it a single family house as a rental, and you live in California and you're buying this out here in Ohio, you're gonna hire a property manager. All right, how much is that property manager really making off that house? So let's just say they charge 10%, right? If they charge 10% and you rent this house at $1,500, they're making $150 a month off of your house. They're making $1,800 a year. 1,800. How hard do you think they're going to work managing your house to make $1,800 for a year? It's just not happening, right? They're not going over the top. They're not driving by every day and looking at stuff and making sure they're saving every dollar they can for you. That's just not reality. So you got to look at the team, the structure, the business plan, but you also have to bring in a human component, particularly when it comes to these Main Street businesses. You got to bring in a human component. Are you offering something that's attractive in the marketplace where you can find and identify talent who is willing to do the work to stay committed to you? Can you build a culture that you're looking to build where folks want to stay working with you because they see themselves and they see a career path for themselves, right? There are a lot of other things that go into it, and I think too often we get caught up in the numbers and we forget that there's human beings behind these numbers.